Happy 4-year anniversary of Deltarune. Oh, it looks like Toby put out a cool video for a new game. Or, wait, is this a new game? I don't see any indication that this is an upcoming release, and the Fangamer page just calls it Girl. Wait, guys, I think this might be Dragonblazers. For those who missed it, Skies Forever Blue is a music video, composed, scripted, and commissioned by Toby Fox, which was just uploaded to Atokihana's YouTube channel to celebrate the anniversary. At first glance, this appears to be just a sweet little video about a girl in a video game falling in love with the player and attempting to work up the courage to confess her feelings to them. At least, that's what I thought when I first watched it. After all, Toby has been known to collaborate and promote non-Deltarune content from time to time, such as this tweet about the upcoming Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. But hey, just because some of the sprites seem a little similar to the Deltarune characters doesn't mean it's related, right? Maybe it's just an aesthetic choice. Wait, wasn't this ending scene in the game supposed to be in a grassy field? Why is everything covered in ice? Is she falling through the seams in the game's code into the unknown darkness beyond the veil? Cause that's what this looks like. Look at that static. Look at those glitchy pixels. There's no way Toby did this on accident. The little chunks of ice floating around here resemble the Ice Palace sprite from the weird Spampton Sweepstakes ARG2. That is super uncanny. Now, if this is Dragonblazers, it should be noted that Dragonblazers often acts as a sort of in-universe reflection of Deltarune, likely because the main characters are familiar with the series, and it influences their perceptions of the Dark Worlds and their roles within them. And if that's the case, I don't think it would be a stretch to suggest that what we're seeing here is foreshadowing regarding the disappearance of Des. But why Des? Well, ever since the Spampton Sweepstakes, there have been a lot of little hints suggesting this. In particular, Spampton hinting that we need to find her, which is also the name of the song that plays on this page here with the guitar when you type Des's name into the URL. This is functionally the same song that plays when Noelle is in her room in the Queen's mansion, and you know what that song is called? Lost Girl. But Bread, I hear you say, we don't even know if this character is a girl. Maybe they just like wearing white dresses and white and pink ribbons. How do we know this video has any connection to Des at all? And that's a good point. Oh, hey, what's that hidden just beneath the cutoff of the description? A link to the website, toby.fangamer.com/girl. What a not extension name. And what's that down there if we scroll all the way to the bottom of the page? There she is, standing all alone in the darkness, in the void, staring longingly into, dare I say, heaven. Need more proof? Let's rewind a bit and watch that part again, where she falls off the ice and into the void. If we look closely, we can see her white ribbon fly off her head. Or, wait, is that pink? The sprite work depicts this ribbon as white, with pink highlights, but the animations depict a light pink ribbon. White and pink ribbons, where have I? Wait, no way. Is this a reference to the twin ribbon in Deltarune? This is a pretty obscure item, but if you take the white ribbon in Chapter 1 or the pink ribbon in Chapter 2 and try to equip either of them to Noelle, she'll say that they feel familiar, almost like she's seen them before. But if you bring them to Mali's, he confuse them into the twin ribbon, which Noelle will describe as nostalgic. Now, you might say that this is just a reference to the item in her favorite video game, but if I might be so bold, I'd like to propose that this is not merely a familiar in-game item. I believe this is actually Des's ribbon, which was lost in the Dark World when she got trapped in the dark. Why do I think this? Well, watch that animation again. The ribbon flies off her head, into the sky, and then it twinkles into a pink star, exactly the same way the other Light World items do when they enter the Dark World for the first time. At this point, I would be utterly shocked if these ribbons did not initially belong to the holidays. But if that's the case, why hasn't Kris tried to tell Noelle? Surely if they've found signs of Des, they'd want to let their friend and neighbor know, right? Oh, but they have. Not out loud, of course, because if they did that, we'd be able to overhear it. And Kris seems to be taking great pains to keep us in the dark about their true intentions. But I do think Kris has found a way to tell Noelle, and once again, the secret to this lies in the items. Ready? In Chapter 1, the player can find an item called the Dice Brace. This bracelet seems to be one of those letter bead bracelets that kids make in school sometimes in arts and crafts. If you check it, the narrator is pretty careful not to describe it in detail to us, simply stating that it's a bracelet made out of symbol-inscribed cubes. But if we equip it to Ralsei, he claims that the letters on the bracelet spell friendship. Why does that matter? Well, later, when we give it to Noelle, she says that Kris jumbled it, which, at first glance, that doesn't sound suspicious at all. We already know Kris is a prankster. But let's stop and think about this. We know what letters are available here, so if Kris were using this to prank Noelle, we should be able to use process of elimination to narrow down what they said. Now, maybe I'm just way too family friendly for my own good, but I can't think of any swear words you can spell with these letters. And even if we just want to go for normal insults, the best I can do is like nerdish, fiendish, or maybe a death threat like die or perish. But the thing is, Noelle doesn't read what Kris wrote aloud for us. And as far as I can tell, she doesn't even prank them back or relate this to another story of Kris messing with her like she usually would. She just goes quiet, almost like she's lost in thought. And for the longest time, I had no idea what Kris could have possibly said to garner this reaction, until the Spampton ARG gave us Find Her. Yep. Once you see Toby's video from this lens, there's a lot to say about this. There's this unnamed girl's cry of pain as she falls into the darkness. There's those weird bubbles that seem to rise from hell's depths. There's the way that this girl seems to become stronger and more bold as the game replays again and again. And the way the world seems to break more and more, the stronger she becomes. There's the way the glitchiness seems to mirror the weird glitchy version of cat petters from Noelle's blog. But before we close out, there's one more thing I need to talk about, and that is this save select screen. This is actually a Deltarune rabbit hole I lost myself in halfway through last video. I'm sure you've all noticed by now that the file select seems to change a bit between a pre-chapter 1 and post-chapter 1 run. The pre-chapter 1 save sounds a lot like Gaster and has all these weird little flags and comments that can be triggered through really obscure means, like the threat variable, which tracks how many times you've started the process of deleting a save file, and says, very interesting, when that number reaches 10 and only 10. Yet, okay, that thing. So, already, it seems like the game's world exists beyond the bounds of what is directly observable to us, the player. This seems to be reinforced by the fact that Kris already has a save file before we reach the first save point, which some have taken as evidence that Kris has been to the dark world before, even though this is actually how the game looks whenever you save in the light world. And that is a whole other terrifying can of worms to consider, because when you delete a save file in this menu and then try to start over, it actually erases Kris's save in the new save slot before you even start up the game. And that is deeply unsettling, because that is exactly what happens in this music video. Each run of the game changes the way the next session plays out, and attempting to replay the game seems to, somehow, actually erase or even corrupt parts of it, just like it does with this initial save file. And then at the end here, all the save slots are just empty, like there's nothing left, like this is the genocide run, and we erased the whole world. Even the girl singing the song has reverted back to the initial refrain, like she's lost all her progress, and, what's happening to the graphics? Hey? Wait a flipping second, what just happened to the Japanese subtitles? They were completely normal before we got to this point, and now for some reason it's almost entirely katakana? Not only is that really weird, but that's also kind of ominous, because by changing this word right here from kanji to hiragana, we actually make it a homonym, and it opens it up to different interpretations. So now, instead of reading that the world is saved, you could read this as, this world has been scooped up, as in we hollowed it out like a pumpkin, and left it completely empty, so that nothing, not even the memories, remain. And that's spacing. I've seen the game space its words like that before, and, it's pretty much always been either a skeleton or Gaster when that happens. Wait. Is that why the apparent last boss of this game is some kind of skeleton dragon? Oh merciful doggy overlord, please give us full-bodied Gaster blaster skeleton dragons. That would be so awesome. Can you even imagine? What do you guys think? Is Toby's new video some kind of weird gateway into the next chunk of the ever-expanding ARG that is Deltarune? A cute little video that has no bearing on anything whatsoever? Let me know down in the comments, and special thanks to Claire Puppy Love for the help with the Japanese, and to Sans the Skeleton on Discord for getting me started down this dark and terrible path with the save files, and my editors, and patrons, and all of my viewers and, did you hear something? Oh geez